Hey, what's going on, guys? So in this video we're going to be talking about kind of our thoughts and predictions and all that jazz related to the crossover announcement that we just got the other day. If you guys haven't already seen it, they put out like a poster on the Walking Dead Facebook page that said the two worlds collide, and they're talking about Fear the Walking Dead and The Walking Dead.
That was released after Robert Kirkman's announcement at the New York Comic Con panel.
Yeah, to follow it up. So basically, the number one thing that everybody has been speculating about ever since the beginning of Fear the Walking Dead, which is, are the two ever going to cross over? Is one character...
Of course they were.
Right. And, you know, they've asked that question every year at the panels, and, you know, everybody's been really, really tight-lipped about it, not giving a direct answer. Now we have the answer, so it's going to happen. So now the question is, who's it going to be? Which character is it going to be? Is it going to be a character from Fear the Walking Dead going on to The Walking Dead? Is it going to be a character from The Walking Dead going on to Fear the Walking Dead?
I think both. Here's why.
Both.
So at the end of Fear the Walking Dead, Madison is in Houston, like everyone's towards Houston, right? So that's kind of where, in that point of the timeline, it's kind of where Abraham and Eugene are. They leave Houston or they go through Houston or something to that effect. And I would love to see Michael Cutlass
Did we look that up?
We didn't, but it rings a bell.
I don't remember, honestly.
They were in Texas. They were in Texas. Isn't Eugene from Texas?
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure that's that part of the South that he's actually from.
We probably should have done our research before we did this video, but that's kind of testament to our style, which is freestyle. We don't really like do any research before we just get on the camera and start.
Who needs facts?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe you might be right. I think.
They traveled across the country to get there.
Yeah, they did. I don't remember what was there.
In the South of Texas. That's the only state that makes. It wasn't like Nevada or New Mexico or anything. I'm pretty sure it was Texas. That's like the area that they're in. Like, and obviously Texas is a huge state, but I mean, if we're talking crossover, that just makes logical sense. Which I think would be great because honestly, I didn't think we got enough time with Abraham anyway. And I want more Abraham. Like, and it's not that I don't miss Glenn, but no one ever talks about Abraham. And I felt like that was such a huge loss. He was such a great character and so colorful with his sayings.
Glenn wasn't a huge loss.
No, but we got a lot of time with Glenn. Glenn had been there since the beginning, and Abraham had only been on there a few seasons.
True.
And I felt like we needed more time with him.
I liked Abraham too, but actually,
Michael Cutlass is lovely.
I actually thought that his death was like a lot more satisfying though than Glenn's, because at least he got a chance to like look Negan straight in the eye and tell him to suck my nuts right before he died, whereas Glenn was like. That was what was like so unsatisfying about it. But anyway, that's a whole different topic. So I don't know, like what character I think is going to show up on the other show. The only thing that I'll say is that I think that it's probably going to be a character from The Walking Dead going on to going on to Fear the Walking Dead, and that's for two reasons. It's not going to be the other way around. It's not going to be Fear the Walking Dead character going to The Walking Dead, and that's for two reasons. First of all, The Walking Dead at this point in the storytelling is several years later on than where we are in Fear the Walking Dead, because of the fact that The Walking Dead started 5 years before. So what that means is if you take a character from Fear the Walking Dead and put them on The Walking Dead, that's kind of a giant spoiler, because it means that character never dies on Fear the Walking Dead.
Well, consider this. We know that Madison is not going to die. We know that Nick is not going to die, and we know that Strand is not going to die. I'd say of the characters on Fear the Walking Dead, that those three aren't going anywhere. So if we were to see one of them show up, which I believe we will, I know The Whispers is coming at some point during season 8, right? Or
maybe it might be later than that. That's way further down the timeline in the comic.
I'm pretty sure Madison is going to be leading somebody, and who's going to be her right hand? Strand.
That's still kind of a spoiler, though, because it makes it so that you'd be less interested in finding out what happened to her on Fear the Walking Dead, because you know where she ends up.
Well, no, because you want to know how she travels from across the country. And what happened to whoever else is not with her?
I don't think that it's going to be somebody from Fear the Walking Dead showing up in The Walking Dead. I think that just gives way too much away, and it kind of like ruins the mystery about whatever character they choose. That's reason one. Reason two is, and this is just like on the business side, Fear the Walking Dead's ratings are not very good.
And no, that's why they want to intertwine them.
Well,
so they could totally do
but
a time jump.
But I think that if the ratings are a problem, they're using this whole thing as a means to boost ratings. They're going to take a character from the show that has good ratings and put it on the show that doesn't. They're not going to do it the other way around. That just doesn't make any sense. Because they have proof that this show doesn't have good ratings. Why would you take a character from that show and put it on the show that already has good ratings?
Unless they do what they're doing now with the DC shows on the CW, and what they've done before with Buffy and Angel, unless they get to the point, like after another season of this crossover in the past, if they want to bring it up to speed in the present and change Fear the Walking Dead from a summer thing to like a back-to-back, like Fear the Walking Dead and then The Walking Dead kind of thing, which is what they do on these other channels and have done previously. That's the only thing I could see. Not in the upcoming season, obviously, but maybe seasons 9 of The Walking Dead and season 4 of Fear.
4, yeah.
And they do a time jump. No, not season 4. No, season 10 of The Walking Dead, season 5 of Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah,
and then
you're talking about 2 years in the future is what you're talking about.
So they'll dominate the 8 to 10 p.m. time slot on Sundays with those two shows back to back. And then talking.
But they already, but that poses a problem though, because first of all, they already dominate the 8 to 10 time slot because of the
talking. Yeah.
Right. So what do they do with talking? Which show does talking talk about?
Or they can do 7 to 10. And it's boom, boom, boom. Yeah. That's what they've done though. I mean, excluding
but they don't have talking. Yeah, that's the reason why that doesn't work.
Or it could be like Saturday, Sunday night. And then you just have 2 episodes. I mean, I don't know.
Well, Friday and Saturday are the kiss of death for a show. That's the time slot that you get moved to right before you get canceled. Sunday is the number one slot that everybody wants because that's when the most people are watching TV statistically. So they have to stick with Sunday.
Monday.
Monday is slightly better, but I mean still.
Fear the Walking Dead is struggling,
I don't think it makes sense to do something like that. I think it makes more sense for them to keep them separate just because it's going to get too confusing for people to digest both stories.
I don't think so. It's been done before. They have shows like that right now, back to back.
But not with a show like The Walking Dead. The number one show of all time. I mean, it's a little... I don't know
why that matters. Thematically, it works to connect the stories.
Well, no, I'm not talking about like the crossover. I'm talking about the like back-to-back thing.
Yeah, that's being done. Been done. Actually, they're doing it with 3 shows right now on the CW.
Is it good?
Yeah, They've done it with Law and Order. They're doing it with the Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, Chicago Med.
Sure.
They're doing it with Arrow, Flash, and Supergirl. They just brought in Supergirl to be like the 3rd show. And they're not on the same night, but they're all in the same timeline.
I'm not caught up in those, so I guess I can't really comment.
And then Buffy and Angel was back to back.
So, alright, so let's assume that happens. Which characters, besides Abraham, I know that you want to see Abraham because you love Abraham.
And Eugene, because they're probably going to kill Eugene.
Which other characters, besides those 2?
From The Walking Dead?
That could be crossed over to Fear the Walking Dead. It's funny, we were laughing about this the other day, and like I don't think this would actually happen, but I joked with her that, like, wouldn't it be funny if it was just, like, somebody totally random, like Gareth? Just because, like, I don't know, Gareth just seems, like, really, like, emo-ish, and, like, he just seems like somebody who would be in California, or, like, on the West Coast. He's got that, like, terrible haircut, and, like, he just seems like somebody who would be in a screamo band,
He looks like a hipster, but he totally doesn't act like one.
He just seems like he would be in, like, a screamo band. Like,
he wouldn't have been
he'd write those lyrics of, like, oh, my life bleeding into my soul. Like, that's what Gareth struck me as, and, his articulation and all that sort of thing. He seems like an LA dude. More than anybody else on The Walking Dead.
Well, we might see Bob.
I would love to see Bob. That was a character that I thought got killed off way too early on The Walking Dead.
He was definitely traveling. There's no real true point of origin for Bob.
All we know is that he's an alcoholic.
I'll tell you who it won't be. It won't be Beth or Herschel.
I hope it's not Beth.
It can't be Shane, which it would make no sense, and also Bernthal's busy. It won't be Carol. It could be Daryl and Merle, maybe.
That would make a lot of sense.
They might cross paths with them.
That would make a lot of sense.
Merle closer to New Mexico.
And Merle has military experience, so maybe that's why
I meant the Breaking Bad connection. But yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, we know that Merle was in the military, and maybe he was at one of the bases.
What's Rooker doing right now?
I have no idea.
Could be Merle, because Merle left Daryl at some point, then he goes back to find. Like, I don't know.
It seems like if they're going to take on this whole ambition, which is a difficult thing to achieve in the first place, like, organizing the schedules of all these actors and stuff, it seems like they would take somebody who is already dead on The Walking Dead, who became a fan favorite after they died. You know what I mean?
Okay, viable options, right? Abraham, maybe Eugene. Bob, maybe Merle.
Maybe Gareth.
No, that's not gonna, no.
You don't know what it's like to be hungry.
Maybe Philip?
Oh, that would be a terrible one. I would rather it be the governor.
That's what I said, Philip.
Or, I'm sorry, not Phil. I thought you were talking about Milton for a second.
No, okay. Philip Blake.
All right. That's his last name, Blake? Oh, I didn't even know that. Yeah, that would be good, I guess. But why was he over there on the West Coast?
No, they're in Texas now. So technically
it's
south.
West of where they are now in The Walking Dead.
Well, I don't know where the hell he came from. We never know.
That's true.
We don't know.
All right.
And he has a southern accent, but I don't know which part of the South that accent's supposed to be or where he came from.
That would be really interesting. And actually, they've kind of laid the groundwork out for something like that, because in The Walking Dead, they had those 3 bottle episodes where they showed the governor, what happened after Woodbury fell. And it shows him, that's where Tara comes into the whole mix, in the apartment building. And, they did, heavy character development on the governor at that point. Maybe they're going to expand upon that and show what Remember Milton said at one point, he was like, I knew Philip before all of this. He was a good man.
Yeah,
maybe that's what they're going to show.
Maybe,
I don't know where Milton came into the play
he has no
everything.
Southern accent. He has a standard American.
Yeah, he has a dork accent. The accent of a dork.
That doesn't make that's not a thing.
I know. I'm just being a dick. I would love to see more about the governor. I thought he was a really interesting character.
I did too. I wanted to know more about him.
I want to know what Milton meant when he said, I knew him before and he was a good man. I want to know what he meant by that.
Before the Fall?
Yeah.
That's a good title, Before the Fall.
That is a good title.
There should be either a book called that surrounds this series, this universe, or a comic, and then they should let me write it, because it's my idea for the title, and I write things that are awesome. Oh boy,
this is turning into a pitch.
I'm just saying, I'm a writer, it's what I do. Yeah. I write fanfic already. I'm very familiar with these people.
So crossover predictions. So those are the ones that we got so far. Honestly, I really don't know what character.
It won't be Glenn.
We're speculating which ones we kind of wish it would be, but at this point, the only thing that I know and that I think for certain is it's going to be somebody from The Walking Dead going to Fear the Walking Dead. I don't think it's going to be the other way around.
And it's going to be next season.
Yeah, it's probably going to be next season.
It's their way of keeping that show's head afloat.
Even though it's so much better now.
But people don't want to.
The ratings are still down, and they're probably doing this to try and boost the ratings, which hopefully the ratings will organically increase just because of the fact that it's so much better now. I mean, I think that people got so turned off by the first season and the first half of season 2 that
they checked out.
Yeah,
I checked out too.
They checked out. I half checked out. I mean, I still watched it, but the difference between season 1 and 2 and season 3 is like night and day. It's a completely different show. So I think they have to alert. They're doing something to alert people to tune back in so that they can see that themselves.
I just want to say I'm pretty sure Whedon was the first person to do this whole element of the universe crossover. I'm trying to think of something that predates Buffy and Angel, but I'll tell you why it's smart. Because doing this crossover officially means that people now feel obligated to pay attention to what's going on the other show. So, like, with the Marvel movies...
That's a good point.
I had noticed... I wasn't really crazy about seeing Doctor Strange. I was like, well, shit, it's part of the MCU, so I feel obligated to see this movie.
That's a really good point.
So it's definitely a smart marketing tool to recapture that audience. And people are just starting to catch up now. So, and if you're going to catch up, I think... if you watch like the last 2 episodes of season 2 and then going to season 3, you'd be okay. I mean, there isn't like
but the burning down scene in the middle of season 2, Daniel. That's important. You got to see all of season 2.
I don't think you need to see. I don't agree.
You do. You have to see all of
They
season
think
2.
one character's dead, and it turns out the character's not dead. And I mean, you can figure it out as you're watching.
But it's more than that, because it has to do with like him being abandoned and like his anger about that.
He has a bottle episode, so like they'd be okay.
I mean, but that's a good episode though in season 2. It's worth watching. Watch episode 7.
Wait, isn't that bottle episode in season 3 and not season 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. So once they see the bottle episode, they'll count it.
I know, but you have to see. Watch episode 8 in season 2 forward. You don't have to see anything from like 1 to 7. I don't think, at least personally.
Yeah, you'd be all right. You anything that's like a little bit confusing will make sense a little bit later. So you'd be good. You'd be all right.
Anything else?
Crossover predictions.
I think that's about it.
I just want to say, I think, and I said this before, but I'll say it again. I think, kind of off topic, but not really, it would make a lot of sense to have, like, I almost want to call it, like, maybe a mini-series or mini-movies. Like, give me Michonne's backstory. Give me Glenn's. I'll take that, too. Like, just a 90-minute little film about these other characters. Daryl would be a good
I would watch that, too. And
it would be
a weird format. I don't know how they do that, but it's a good idea.
It's basically just be an extended episode, but not an episode because it's a bottle movie. You're welcome, AMC.
And on that note, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel, at Jill Roby on YouTube. Also, go ahead and follow us on Instagram at RLRochon. And on Facebook, facebook.com/TheLivingRochon. And also go ahead and check out our brand new website that's about to be launched soon with lots of blog content and all sorts of cool stuff. www.thelivingrochon.com. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks so much for watching.
Bye.